I just came to the realization that most of us continue to do things in the dark because no one's holding us responsible. There's no self-accountability, and we feel like there'll be no consequences, and no one has to judge us. But if we could just ask ourselves, if a light was shined on us, if a flashlight was shined on us, and people got to see all the things that we do, would we still be continuing to do those things that we know, that we feel in our spirit is wrong, that we really would be ashamed of for people to know? And that's why I am making this video, because I don't want to live in the dark anymore. And I feel like the reason I continued to live like that in my past, because no one knew about it. You know, I could just continue to live, and it was like nobody was watching. But let me tell you, there is someone watching, and that is the spirit within you, the spirit all around us, and it is watching. It is watching as much as we try to ignore it. So that is why I wanted to share this story today. I'm shaking a little bit, but I had sex the beginning of September, the beginning of this month, and again with a different guy.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Hey, that's some bullshit.
Again with a different guy. If this is your first time watching, I went celibate for 10 months. Then after that, met a guy, like completely stopped my celibacy. I made a whole video, confessing, that I had herpes and that I wanted to go celibate and all this. And, I went 10 months, celibate. And then it was like after I had sex, it was kind of like I've lost sight of my path. And after that, I had sex with, it's been 3 guys already since April that I had sex.
Damn! Thanks, James. that look says it all.
So it's like my celibacy completely went down the drain. And so I'm gonna just tell y'all this story because it's embarrassing. And like I said, I want to confess the things that I'm shameful of and that I really don't want to talk about, because I want to change. So this was actually someone I dealt with in my past. And if this person is watching, this is nothing personally to do with you. This is all, has everything to do with me. So so back when we dated, I was already going through a place where I didn't want to have sex. I was going through something, and I have been for so long. My spirit been talking to me for so long that I need to stop, that I need to really connect with my spirit. And so back then when we dated, I told him that I don't want to have sex, and I made him wait for a little, and then I just began to see. I just gave in because I felt like that's what he wanted, and I really just went against my own spirit, and it happened. And around this time, it's the embarrassing part, I had a very strong odor in my pee. I've never smelled it before. I don't even know how I can give an example of what it smelled like. But it was before I started dealing with him that I had this odor in my pee. And so we only dated for a couple months or something like that. And I hadn't talked to him in a long time. So we had recently reconnected, and I went over. I was just feeling disconnected. I was not on my path. I was not connected to myself. I wasn't loving myself, taking care of myself properly. So I went over there, and I just was bored, and I felt like I needed to be with someone, and to comfort me or whatever. And we had a cool friendship, and we had sex, and I didn't want sex. That's the thing. I really just wanted love, and I didn't want sex, but I let it happen. You know, I allowed it. I did it. You know, and it was just like after I did it, I was just like, I don't like why, like why did I let it happen? So it was not good. It was not satisfying. There was like, it was no spiritual connection. I was so disconnected from my spirit. It was just something to do. And like the reason I brought up my pee, how it smelled back then, and since I had fasted and started eating better, and when I went through all that fasting, like I didn't smell it anymore when I went to the bathroom. But when I had sex with the same guy who around the same time, you know, when I was dealing with him, I had that odor. And then like after we had sex, I ate some Chinese food, and I said that maybe it was the Chinese food, because I hadn't had like any type of food like that, and it could have been. But just the weird part about it is that the odor came back with it was like deja vu happening over. It was like I hadn't smelled that in so long, and when I dealt with him, I remember, you know, that was something I was ashamed of, because like every time I go use the bathroom, I smell it, and then it was like deja vu, like I'm back with this guy. I'm smelling this odor. So yeah, and it's definitely something going on with my body that I'm not trying to hear, or I know my body is speaking to me, and I'm actually sort of afraid to go see, you know, a doctor, and because I just feel like it could possibly like be something not good and that I don't want to face. And